What's up? I have a XTool X100 Pad 2 here, and it just stopped charging. Apparently, this is like a some sort of key programmer for a locksmith for a car. I don't know exactly what it does, but I suspect that this is probably a fairly popular tool. So the thing works, but it just stopped charging. I think he said something blew on it when he plugged it in. So he's been taking the battery out and charging it in another unit and then putting it back in here, and he's been doing that, ever since this thing stopped working. So the guy asked, I don't normally repair these things just because we don't have parts for them, we don't have schematics for them, but he said that there was a clear and obvious component that was broken on this thing, and sure enough, I opened it and and there was a capacitor that was blown. It looked like it was shorted too. So anyways, let me bring you over to the microscope and you can see it. So I've already taken the blown capacitor off, but this thing was blown to bits. It was nice and black right here. I'll point out where it was. It was right here. Okay. As you can see, the tab is still here. This is probably the exact same one. So the problem with fixing these things, when you don't have schematics and you don't know the values of components, is like, how do you get a replica component? How do you even know what it is? It just happens to be that there was one right next to it, so okay, that makes it a little bit easier. But even still, like, how do I find this 476V capacitor? You can Google it. You can do a search for 476V, but a lot of times it's not going to come up with anything. I just happen to somehow find it. I mean, I guess I got lucky. I mean, I guess you could probably just leave this capacitor off, but probably not the best idea to leave this one off, since it's some sort of power capacitor. Anyways, I haven't tried if it works or not yet, but I was able to find a replica capacitor here, and I found it on DigiKey. It's about $4, and looks like it's about the same size. And I believe it's like AVX or something like that. So this little A right here, I mean, it took me a little while to find it, but this little emblem right there is basically like it's like the logo of this company. I think it's AVX or AXV or something like that. I'm pretty sure it's AVX. And 476, so it's 47 was it microfarads, and it's only because the 6 at the end tells you how many zeros precede the value. So this is a 47 microfarad capacitor, and I don't know exactly what these numbers on the bottom of it represents, but somehow I determined that it was a 35 volter. 35 volt for a 47 microfarad capacitor. So, okay, so I'm gonna put this back, and then I'm gonna see if this thing powers on or not. Hopefully all is good after that. Hey Google, turn FM 202 on. So this repair is going to take a little bit extra heat, and my micro tools are not going to be sufficient. So I have to use my Hecko FM 202, and I set it at the highest just because I mainly use this to do iPad repairs, or I'm sorry, PS4 repairs or something like that. Something that requires, like, have big pads like this. Still not like really easy to get off. This must be a ground pad right here. It makes it even harder. So I'm just gonna use a little bit of force. Get this mother off. Okay, there it goes. Oops. Not a big deal. Okay, so let's put this back here. Let's get my and I believe this might be directional actually, because there's a line up here, but that doesn't really make sense. So I'm not really sure. Okay, so battery's taken out. Make sure you take the battery out of these things before you start working on them. I don't know why it's 35 volts. That seems pretty high to me. Okay, so just want to make sure. Looks like I just burnt a little bit of the plastic, so just be careful. Alright, let's tin this mother. I should probably get a bigger thing here. Alright, so that definitely makes it easier with a bigger soldering iron. And then let's do number 2 here. Let's try not to burn any more plastic. Okay. Alright, that's good enough. Let's put this back here. So am I going to be able to test this? I'm not even sure, because I don't even know what kind of power supply this uses. Well, I'm going to have to text the guy. I'm pretty sure this is going to work, but anyways, let me just check my multimeter here. Hopefully it doesn't blow up. I mean, generally speaking, with capacitors, you should be able to use a higher voltage, but not a lower voltage capacitor. So I think 35 was the highest they had anyways, which I think it is 35 volter anyways. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to diode mode both sides just to make sure that, you know, when I'm short here, which is probably going to prevent this thing from booting up. So let's do, this is 0.504, 0.505, this side is 0, this side is 0. So this side is ground. I can tell that because it was a little bit harder to to get the solder off of that. Alright, so I think this is going to be good. I'm going to call the guy and have him bring his power supply, which if he told me the voltage on the power supply, I can probably test the charging on it, which is probably what I'll do actually. Anyways, I think I'm just going to consider this repair finished. Finis. Or is it fini? So XTool X100 Pad2 no charging repair. Thanks for watching. Alright, so let's see. I'm just gonna show you guys that it does charge. Let's see. Woo! Okay, so anyways, it's back in business. Looked like it was just a shorted cap that blew up and shorted. I removed it. You might just be able to leave it off, I'm not really sure, but I put another one back on that I found from DigiKey. I guess maybe you can leave a message if you want to know where to get this component. Alright, so that's it. Thanks. I just wanted to say thank you for watching our videos on YouTube. You know, when I started microsoldering about 3 or 4 years ago, probably about 3 years ago, I started because I ended up breaking someone's phone during a repair. Yeah, this was back in the days of the iPhone 5C, and as I was disconnecting the battery, I accidentally pried off one of the little components next to the battery connector. So my options were to try to fix it or to buy the customer a new phone, and that's kind of what started this journey. Well, fast forward 3 years later, we have a website now, microsoldering.com, and we also have an online training course. It's $99.99 if you buy it through our website, and we go over just about everything that you need to know to get started on your microsoldering journey. It's kind of sectioned out into about 4 parts, and the first part we just kind of go over all the basics, the tools, how to use diode mode, and what kind of tools and equipment to buy and stuff like that. The second part we talk a little bit about ZXW tools, and in the third part we go over 4 of the most common repairs. Let's update this. It should be 4 common most. So it's basically no touch, no backlight, no power, and we just added a section for audio IC on the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus. And then the last part is data recovery, no boot, and just kind of a very basic discussion about data recovery. So if you want to buy it, just go to microsoldering.com, click on Store, Shop, and then you'll come to this page right here. Just click on Buy at Udemy, and that'll take you to Udemy where our course is hosted. And you can even preview some videos of the course and see if you like it or not. And right now it's We're at 4.5 hours, and we're adding to it as much as we can. So just make sure you go through our website, otherwise the cost is a little bit higher. Alright, thanks for watching.